All right, so that is her response to our Malika Andrews. We did not show the sound there that Naphessa originally claimed, that she also specifically called out Caitlin Clark, saying she wouldn't be making $16 million a year off the court. It wasn't for them, and she should be lucky. Again, she denies a lot of these things, somewhat. What's your reaction from what you heard from the commish?
Well, we came on camera, and I was still writing because I was very interested in what Kathy had to say, but a couple of things stood out to me. When you were asked a question, you should probably answer that question.
Right.
And when Malika asked, did you say, and then quoted Kathy, Kathy didn't say, no, I didn't say that, right? And I think that should be the first thing. If you didn't say that, you should say that you didn't say that. And she said instead, there have been a lot of inaccurate statements, right? So now I just have questions. I have more questions, because if you said it or you didn't say it, what is the answer? It's a yes or no question. And then same thing when she asked, do you think you're the right fit to continue this leadership? I think the first answer should be yes.
Right.
Right, so I'm just not feeling, I'm not feeling confidence. What word did you use, tepid?
Yeah, tepid
That word
response,
earlier?
yes.
I'm just not feeling the confidence in those answers.
So you talked about how you're writing things down. She said never shied away from tough situations. But unfortunately, the reality is she shied away from tough conversations, which is a negotiation. In order to have a negotiation, you have to have conversations.
But if you be real for a second, with Kathy Engelbert and all this dancing around the truth getting out of hand, and we already know what we saw from Kathy Engelbert wasn't leadership, it was avoidance, plain and simple. And then you got one of your stars, Naphessa Collier, coming forward with serious claims about something you allegedly said behind closed doors. Instead of just owning it or denying it directly, you went into some weird PR safe monologue about being a mom, having kids, and there being inaccuracies online. Like, what are we even talking about, Kathy Engelbert? That ain't accountability, because this is the WNBA, a professional sports league trying to grow, trying to build trust with its fans and players. And instead of providing clarity, you give us confusion. And this isn't hard. If somebody puts words in your mouth, your first instinct, especially as a leader, should come out to say, no, I didn't say that. Or yes, I said that. Here's what I meant. But she didn't do that. She dodged it, and let's be honest, she looked guilty doing it, and I don't even need a PR team to know how bad that looked. This isn't just bad optics, it's a communication failure, and that's a huge deal when you're dealing with a league that's in a critical moment. The collective bargaining agreement, which is a negotiation in regards to their contracts, how much they're going to get paid with these WNBA players, is on the line, and the finals are happening right now. Eyes are on the WNBA in ways we haven't seen before. And your commissioner is out here giving word solid and ducking accountability like it's the Matrix. Like, listen, man, just answer the question. We're not asking for a miracle here. It's just a yes or no. It's basic leadership. And the worst part, by not giving a direct answer, you're making it seem like Naphessa Collier said, you're making it seem like what Naphessa Collier actually said was true. Like, yeah, you probably did say it, because if you didn't, you wouldn't you be loud and clear about you not saying it? Wouldn't you shut that down? But no, she hit us with there's a lot of inaccurate reporting, but to the players, and that's the real issue. This ain't just about words. It's about a growing divide between the players in the league office, and the trust is broken, and the silence is speaking louder than any denial would have. And the players who are the product, by the way, feel like the leadership doesn't have their back. That's dangerous, especially when we seen how unified the WNBA players can be when it comes to them want more money and they paychecks, and they don't throw smoke for no reason. This ain't the NBA where a guy might go rogue with a wild take. And these women move in unison. And if they're speaking out during the finals, during a collective bargaining season, it's strategic, and it means they feel disrespected, unheard, and honestly played.
And I think it's apparent, abundantly clear, that there has been a great divide between the players and our commissioner or the league office in order to have productive conversations. And now Naphessa's statement that she made in her exit interview is accountability. WNBA players never want to throw out all the smoke. They don't. They only do it when necessary. They're always...
Exactly. I just said that.
strategic. They're always calculated. We talk about the t-shirt they wore at All-Star. That was a collective decision. These are members of the executive committee of the WNBA making these statements. And obviously, they understand the magnitude of the moment. We're here at a WNBA Finals in an unprecedented year. These players are going to stand on business on the court, but most importantly, they're going to do what the W has always done. They're going to stand on business off the court and fight for what they believe they deserve. And I want people to understand, because oftentimes we mention CBA or we talk to the WNBA, we always compare it to the NBA. Well, the truth is, I said this before, comparison is a thief of joy. You think of revenue share and you're like, oh, they want the same. They want equal. No, they just want a fair share. Sure. They want to outpace inflation. They want to grow as the business grows. That is where things are at right now. So these women are smart. They've done the numbers. They run the numbers. I know this because I was previously on the executive committee, and everyone is playing their role to get to a point where they avoid a lockout, they keep this product on the floor. But in order to do that, you have to have conversations, and now it feels like it's been wasted time, and that's on Kathy, unfortunately.
Of course. And it's deflection, right? Because if the players are asking for accountability and transparency, and your response is to make yourself victim and play in the victim Olympics, that's not leadership, that's deflection. And then they wonder why players are fed up. And we wonder why they don't trust leadership. And you can't negotiate a new collective bargaining agreement, one that's supposed to shape the future of the league, if nobody believes the person on the other side of the table, because trust is a foundation for growth. And look, the WNBA isn't asking to be the NBA. These players aren't asking for max deals or $100 million contracts. They're asking for fairness, a fair share of revenue, growth that matches inflation, investment that respects the work they're putting in. But when leadership act like he's doing his players a favor just for existing, like they should thank their lucky stars, it undermines the entire movement. And then we sit back and wonder, where's the tension? This ain't rocket science. It's just common sense. If your top athletes don't feel heard, they're going to promote the league the way they could. They're not going to promote they're not going to promote the league the way they could. Correction. If they were heard, then they would promote the league the way they could. But they aren't, because they're not being heard. And if fans see leadership being shady or unclear, they're going to side with players every time. Why? Because the players are the ones we watch. They are the ones building culture. Caitlin Clark didn't bring $16 million off-court dollars to the WNBA by herself. She's part of a league with women who built the infrastructure of that kind of attention, or for that kind of attention. And players know this, fans know this, but somehow the league office don't get it. And now Kathy looks like she's in over her head to me, because when the pressure came, she folded. And the moment she had to stand up and clarify, not even fight, just clarify, she dropped the ball. This isn't personal. It's business. You had a moment to show leadership, to speak with confidence, to let the players and the fans know that you're capable of steering the ship. And instead, you tiptoed through the garden with dirty toenails, dodging the truth. And it's embarrassing. And not just for Kathy Engelbert, but for the whole league. And this is a bad look. And if you want people to take the WNBA seriously, that starts at the top. You can't demand respect from fans, from sponsors, from media if you don't even respect the players or the truth. This ain't about being a perfect commissioner. It's about being an honest one, a present one. And based on everything we saw, you missed that mark by a mile. And the league deserves better. The players deserve better. And the fans, we're watching. If you're the commissioner, act like it. Answer the darn questions. Keep it real and stop hiding behind vague statements. And press training. It's not going to work anymore. Not in 2025. Not when the W is on the rise and the internet is forever. So the things she say, and now she's switching her tune, you think people ain't going to bring her receipts? Because while you're busy dodging, these women are standing on business on and off the court. I want to know you guys' thoughts down in the comments below. I'm curious to get you guys' take on it. I'm going to play this a little bit more, and then I'm going to just leave it there.
And the only way you pivot forward and move forward is you have a CBA that makes sense for the players, especially in terms of revenue share. That is the only way that any of this can get solved or get resolved. It's not by what you say.
Well, I disagree on that statement. The only way you solve things is by coming to an agreement with the CBA. Well, first, we have to have trust. See, business doesn't operate. See, the first rule in business is trust. If you don't have no trust, there's a disconnect. It's not really much to talk about, because the other person don't trust that you have the best interest to make sure the business go through for everybody's best interest. So there's already feelings involved because your trust has been broken. And now you got somebody looking at somebody like, hmm? You want me to talk to you and I don't even know what to believe what you say? It's just illogical from a business perspective, period, because now it's ignorance which you won't make a logical decision because you don't even trust the person to make a logical decision because they already have shown you that you can't trust their leadership, let alone their choice on what they make to come to agreement together. Because if you do go with them, even though they have shown you that they're not trustworthy, then it turns around and reflects you badly because then when the results happen to be not in the way that operates in everybody's best interest, you cannot play victim because you already knew how this person was based on the trust and you still went into agreement with this individual already knowing that you couldn't trust them, but you still went away with it. And then you realize why the business deal didn't go right. It just went straight ditto. Exploded. Horrible. But anyway, let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and got some wisdom from it, some value. As always, we just here to have a conversation, here to kick it. On that note, family, peace.